Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back once again. It's me, Molt. Super stoked to be here with you guys today. I'm gonna have some gameplay going on the side, but I wanted to talk to you guys. Is that cool? Are you guys okay with that? Haven't done one of these in a couple weeks, and I always love them, and it seems like you guys always love them too. I looked back at an older video called "I'm Messed Up," and the reception of it is crazy. I really enjoy knowing that you guys enjoy these videos. Like that brings a lot of hope to my heart, and it's just encouraging for me. It's really encouraging for me knowing that you guys will listen to me as I talk. And am I a specialist or anybody special or important? No, I just talk about things that I feel like we need to hear, especially in this day and age where everybody's always trying to impress people, everybody's always trying to fit in, etc., etc. And I've got something to talk to you guys about. So I'm a Christian, as many of you guys know. If you're not a Christian, I love you. I'm happy that you're watching this video. I know that a lot of people are burned by Christians a lot, and I would just challenge you to say, like, just because one experience with someone who called themselves a Christian was bad, don't label everyone else with that same label, because it isn't true. It isn't true. So today I'm going to read something for you guys, and whether you believe in the Bible or not, whether you have a separate religion or not, or if you're just here to watch the gameplay, then I hope that you enjoy. But I'm going to talk about being yourself. Being, my name is Michael, so I'm going to talk about being Michael. I'm going to talk about who I am and being the best me. You know what I mean? Because like I said a second ago, a lot of times people just try and fit in. They try and do what other people are doing because it seems like that's right. It seems like it's working for them, so should I do the same as well? And to me, the answer to that is no. So whether you're a Christian or not, whether you have read the Bible or you haven't, or whether you've just heard stuff, I'm sure that the majority of you guys have heard of the story of David and Goliath. You hear about it in sports and all this kind of stuff, where like a team who's not supposed to win is facing like a monster team, and they say this is a David and Goliath story. Well, if you didn't know, David and Goliath is from the Bible. And I'm going to read something really cool for you guys. So David was a shepherd, so he took care of sheep, which isn't really that manly of a thing. And he went up to see his brothers who were at the battle line, and they were there, and they were facing the Philistines, and Goliath was a Philistine, okay? So David went up there, and he was talking to Saul, and he said, hey, buddy, this is like the person in command, okay? He goes up, he says, don't worry about this Philistine, I'll go fight him. Which is so funny to me. And then Saul is like, don't be ridiculous. There's no way that you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth. How often do people label you? Huh? Like, you're only a boy. He automatically just labeled him. He got rid of any experience that David has had, and he just says, you're only a boy. How often are you told you're only a C student? Or by a girl if you're a guy, you're only a friend. Like you're only like, oh, you're such a good friend. I would never date you. You're only a friend. How often are you labeled immediately when seeing people, and it's so frustrating because you're like, this isn't fair. Like, no, I'm not only a boy. You don't know me. You don't know me yet. And it says, David persisted. I've been taking care of my father's sheep and goats. It's like, ooh, I've been taking care of sheep. I imagine Saul is just like, and? It's a pretty easy thing to do. And then he said, when a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and club it to death. I have done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine. Just automatically off the bat, don't let people label you by your appearance, by what they think they know about you. If I saw a shepherd boy, I wouldn't think that he's able to kill lions and bears. That's pretty gnarly. And so Saul finally consented and said, all right, go ahead, and may the Lord be with you. It's kind of like, okay, like if you want to go and fight this guy, you're probably going to die, go ahead and do it. That's okay. It's nothing to me. God be with you, is what he said. And then Saul gave David his own armor. So this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about right here, okay? So you can imagine how frustrated David is. He's like, okay, like, why is Saul automatically judging me right off the bat? Like, he doesn't know me. Just because I don't look like other people doesn't mean that I'm not good at doing something. You know what I mean? Like, just because I'm not known to be a warrior doesn't mean that I can't be good at this, that I can't excel at this one thing. And so David automatically, or Saul automatically just like goes after him, and it says, Saul gave David his own armor, a bronze helmet and a coat of mail. David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such things before. Okay? Now, he's physically wearing armor. He's physically wearing these things that he's never worn before, but have you guys ever worn titles before? Like, have you ever worn the title of jock, or if you're a girl, like promiscuous, or if you're a guy, you're a jerk, or you're not smart, you're dumb? Like, have you ever worn those types of things? Or whenever you try and fit in, have you ever worn something like, oh yeah, I smoke, but really you don't want to smoke. You don't smoke. Or it's like, oh yeah, no, I sleep around, I drink, yeah man, yeah, it's cool. Like, do you ever wear things that don't fit you? Do you ever wear things that don't fit you so that you can look like others and try and fit in when that isn't you? And so it says he took a step or two to see what it was like. So he tried it out. And a lot of times we'll try things out, and then we're like, I mean, this is what I have to do. Like, I have to continue trying these things if I'm going to fit in, you know? But that isn't the case. And so David says, I can't go in these. I'm not used to them. So David took them off. He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with a shepherd's staff and a sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. This guy's going to fight like a warrior, like a beast. Like, all the Philistines are hiding behind this one dude. Imagine how strong and beastly this one guy is, that he's in front representing all of them, wearing 100 pounds of armor. He's got a huge sword and all this stuff. And a shepherd boy walks up with a little leather thing that's a sling and puts a rock in it. And if he had worn the armor that Saul tried to give him, if he had worn the names that other people tried to give him, he wouldn't have succeeded. He wouldn't have done as well. So as the story goes, he goes down there, he faces him, he uses his sling, and he throws it. Now the thing about this is, a lot of times you might look at this and say like, oh, clearly David has the disadvantage. But no, he was good at what he did. He was good at being a shepherd, and shepherds use slings and their staffs. He was good at that. But other people tried to label him. They tried to label him and say, okay, if he's going to go out and fight, well, he has to do it like I've done it. Because in the past, whenever I've fought, I used a sword and armor, and I won. So that means it's the only way to do it. You ever feel like that, where you run into people and they think that they know it all because they've done something one way, and so because it worked that way, that's the only way that it works. But for you, maybe it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe for you, you don't excel at learning in school the same way that everyone else does. You have to be creative. For me, whenever I had to memorize poetry, I would get on my skateboard and I'd have it typed up, and I would skateboard around my garage and I'd memorize it like that. But if I was sitting inside with a light and like just sitting down, focusing, studying, no, I'm not going to get anywhere, because that wasn't how I learned. That wasn't how I succeeded. That wasn't how I excelled. So when it came to succeeding in the classroom, I had to be creative. And for other people, they're just like, didn't you take notes? It's like, well, yeah, but like my brain doesn't work like that, you know? And so the whole point of this video, guys, I love doing these and just kind of talking and just honestly seeing what comes out of my mouth. Like, you can tell there's no cuts in these videos. Sometimes I ramble, but it's me just trying to have a conversation about something that I think is cool. And in this day and age, so many people try to label others, and that's not the case. Like, for me, and that video entitled I Messed Up, like, you could label me as an angry person, but I'm not. That's just a little part of me, is something that I struggle with, but that's not me. That's not who I am. And so I want you guys to know that you don't have to try and fit in. Okay? You don't have to try and wear armor to succeed on the battlefield. If you're in school or wherever you may be in life, if you're at work, if you've already graduated college, wherever you may be in your life, you don't have to do things the way that other people do it just because they excelled at it. You know? Like, I don't have to go about doing X, Y, or Z in one manner to get to it. There are different routes to get to an end goal. And so if you're trying to fit in or you're trying to excel, find what works best for you. Don't always do what other people do. Especially on like YouTube, it's so easy. Like, you see people see a thumbnail and they're like, oh, that worked for them, I'm gonna do that thumbnail too, and then it doesn't work, and you're just like, well, what happened? I don't understand. Well, that's not yours. Like, that's not what your viewers want to see. That's not how you excel. You need to do it one way, or do it another way. So all that I'm trying to say in all this is be yourself, guys. Don't let other people label you and tell you how to live your life. Don't let other people label you and tell you how you can succeed, or say that you're gonna fail if you don't do it my way. Like, I imagine Saul was like, David, if you don't wear this armor, you're gonna die. And David was like, no, I'm good. Like, I know what I'm doing, and I'm good at doing things the way that I do them. So I just say that again to try and be encouraging, let you guys know that I love doing these types of videos. They are an absolute blast for me. You guys are the best. And I'll just leave it at this. Like, don't let people label you, okay? They can say what they want, but don't label yourself in the way that they do. Like, Saul still saw him as a little shepherd boy who was going to battle without armor. But David saw who he was in God and went out there and defeated Goliath very easily because he believed in himself. He didn't allow other people to tell him who he was. So, don't let other people tell you who you are. You are who you are. You are very, very special. I love you guys. Y'all are the best. See you in the next one. Peace.